Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm your host, Sergeant John Perrine, the Public Information Officer for the Indiana State Police Indianapolis District. The Roadshow is brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, a subsidiary of the State Police Alliance. For more information about our sponsor, visit www.indianasfinest.com. We want to thank MS Communication Network Indiana for putting us on the radio. Our good friend there, Eddie Garrison, putting us on the radio. Pushing the buttons, producing the show. We certainly appreciate them and allowing us to use their studio. My guest today, coming back for an update, is Sergeant Nate Rainey from the Indianapolis District. Sergeant Rainey is the supervisor for the All Crimes Policing Squad in Indianapolis. And if you tuned in earlier this year, you might have heard it was a new squad that was being put together starting January 1st in the Indianapolis District. And it's just a squad of troopers with specialized training, specialized backgrounds that are going to really dig into crimes and traffic stops, and they've had a lot of success. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So kind of talk about your vision of what the team was going to be, and then the evolution of what it has been. We're 6 months in now, 7 months in.
Yeah, so early on, my thinking has always been, we need to focus on violent crime, just other crimes that are causing hazards to the community, and follow up on cases, and just anything we can do to help impact the community, make it a little bit safer. And we've had a little bit of success so far this year, and we're growing, and as a unit, as far as what we're able to do, and just resources that we're using and working with other agencies.
And it's really cool because I hear you guys out every day, and I see the work product you guys are producing, and there's a lot of people out there that have proven they're not capable of living in a free society, right? They can't follow the rules, but the people that you guys are going after, that you're finding, are the severe offenders, the violent felons, the people who should not be out free, and the work that you guys are doing with other agencies and with your data, certainly getting those people and putting them behind bars. How many people have you arrested so far?
I think defendants, either that's been charged or has pending charges, this time is around 251 for the and that's just through the first 6 months of the year.
That's incredible. We're talking about a squad of 6 troopers that work together when they can. They still have other responsibilities within the district to respond to calls and crashes and things like that, that have made over 250 arrests so far this year. That's impressive.
Yeah. We started out 6 plus me. Right now we're at 4 plus me. We've had 2 guys that's been blessed with good opportunities and been able to get some movement within the department. So
very good.
I'm very happy for them.
Yeah, and so we talk about the simple traffic stop leading to bigger things, and that's where your squad really shines. Sometimes when somebody's found to be in possession of drugs or an illegal gun or have a warrant for their arrest, that arrest is made, the person is dropped off at the jail, the paperwork's done, and then it goes to the court. What you guys are really getting good at doing is not only taking that arrest, seizing that evidence, but you're connecting that person and that evidence to other crimes, and you're allowing that evidence to lead you to more and more and more. So you're essentially using the smaller fish to get to the bigger fish. And that's where the success comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've, squad's done numerous search warrants this year. We've fostered relationships with other agencies to make sure that what we're doing is not only that we're putting cases together, we make sure that our cases are prosecutable cases, and that what we're doing is we're using our resources at the right place at the right time. I guess quality policing is what we're wanting to do. And like I said, they've had a lot of success. The group that we have, there's some good guys on there that's working hard.
Yeah, and obviously they are working hard, but they're making a difference. What kind of feedback are you getting from the community when you're out in these communities?
So naturally, there's, just by the name of it alone, it's all crimes policing. So we're not trying to be just in one specific neighborhood. We try to go, if there's a problem that we know that we need to focus on, or if another agency or we have a complaint or tip that comes in, yes, we go to that neighborhood and work, but we, sometimes you'll see us on the interstate doing stuff, making traffic stops. You might see us in a neighborhood on the east side or the west side, or even outside of Marion County itself. And we've had a lot of really good feedback from people in the neighborhood. I know just a couple of days ago, I was driving along, and one of the new trends that's out is the Kia Boys Challenge, where people are breaking windows of cars and stealing Kias specifically. And I saw a Kia pass me, and the window was broken out of it, the rear window. So I followed him. I didn't have a reason to make a traffic stop, but I followed him until he got to a residence and just made contact with him. And we talked about that. Their car, the window was broken out for it to be stolen. And the people doing it was interrupted and fled the scene. And they were thankful for the increased police presence that they'd seen in their neighborhood alone. Yeah. So, yeah, we've had a lot of good response from the community. And we've had civilians come up to us and report stuff because they're seeing us in their neighborhoods a lot. So they're telling us that, hey, you know, I have this problem or that problem, or just the phone calls that we're getting in as well.
You know, the community relationships are so important when it comes to solving crime and you know, putting people in jail. The information we receive is very valuable, but it starts with building relationships, just like you guys are doing, and stopping on the road, saying hi to folks, going to the gas station, have a cup of coffee in these communities where you're working, just so you can build those relationships, so those people know that they can come to you with that information and trust you that you're going to do something with it.
Yeah, and there's so much more to police work than placing handcuffs on somebody and taking them to jail. You know, we all grew up, you know, looking and having an idea of what the police was, or the military was, or teachers or doctors. But there's so much stuff behind the scenes. But when you're looking at quality policing, you know, what you're doing to make a difference. And I was anticipating coming here today on my way here. I was kind of thinking about things that we've done. You know, I'm 16 years into my career. And I guess my thinking is, I remember whenever I was a young child and somebody broke into my parents' house. And we had stuff stolen from the house, I had a bike stolen as well. And the police showing up, and, you know, I don't know if they thought there was anything off it or not, but they spread some fingerprint dust around, and they looked around, and they end up recovering my bike later. And I remember thinking, or I was thinking earlier today, was, you know, I hope that I can be the police officer that as a child that I expected the police to be, where I looked up to them to be. That if there's a problem, that, you know, this person can come and help me solve it. And that's really what the community needs from us, is they need somebody that can help them when they're in need, versus if that's a car that's broken down, a crash, an injury, or if that's a crime problem in their neighborhood. I mean, that's what they look for.
Yeah, you know, and I think that's one thing that we get caught up in is these routines where, you know, these minor fender bender crashes where we go and we take the report. We can't get complacent with that because, you know, for us, yeah, it's just another fender bender crash of many that we're probably going to investigate that day or that week. But to that person involved in that moment, that's a life-changing event.
Absolutely.
And we have to honor that, respect that, and understand that, and obviously be compassionate. But they also deserve a thorough investigation, and that's what they can count on from the Indiana State Police.
And I tell people every day that you rarely come in contact with a police officer when you're having a good day. Most of the time that we contact the public, they're having a bad day, you know, versus they were in a crash, they were speeding, or they just made a mistake. And, you know, now they're, you know, legal action's being taken, or they're involved in the criminal justice system. But, you know, we try to change that. And I believe our agency's done a good job of trying to be involved in the community, that they can also see us on good days and have good experiences in general with the police. You know, unfortunately, it's the nature of our job that we're there to enforce the law, whether it be traffic or criminal laws. So people typically come across us that way. But it's nice to go into neighborhoods and know that, you know, the things that we're doing is making a difference. And we're seeing that. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. We had one guy in our squad earlier in the year. Within, I think, a month, he had recovered 12 human trafficking victims.
That's unbelievable.
And that's crazy.
That's right here in Indianapolis.
Absolutely.
And that's not off tips. We're not following. Just through his police work, he came across these folks.
Yes, I mean, it was a traffic stop on the interstate, and he recognized some human behaviors. He was able to build rapport with victims in the car and separate them and get stories, and they were human trafficking victims. It's crazy. I mean, that's things that you think only happens in movies, but it happens all the time.
And that's a big deal. But not just the human trafficking victims that you've been able to recover, but you're getting dangerous drugs off the street, dangerous guns off the street, out of the hands of people that shouldn't have them.
Absolutely. Right now, I think through the first 6 months, just through June itself, they were right around 60 guns from serious violent felons. And, you know, I have guns at my house. I carry a gun on me, but these are people that are violent felons, people that you do not want to have a gun because they do crimes with them. So we've got right around 60 guns from violent felons, right around 50 stolen vehicles in that time, and then just thousands, tens of thousands of grams of, you know, cocaine, heroin, meth. You know, there was 14,000 grams of cocaine seized. You know, we had Trooper Matt Wilson. I was riding with him one day, and a car passed him. You know, the driver had the seatbelt off, and he looked at the car, turned around, was going to make a traffic stop just for a simple seatbelt violation. And the behavior of the driver, it was the thing that we see as parents when your kid makes a mistake, they know they've done something wrong. Right. And that turned into the seizure of a large amount of methamphetamine, large amount of cocaine, crack cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, marijuana, and several firearms inside the vehicle.
From a seatbelt stop. I mean,
from a seatbelt stop.
That's a cold. This wasn't an intel stop. This wasn't a vehicle you were looking for, or a person you were looking for. It was a person not wearing their seatbelt. Absolutely.
We were actually talking about, hey, in a couple hours, we're going to be off work. We're going to play golf. You know, that changed rather quickly there.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, it was a simple seatbelt stop. And then we were able to use intel from that stop and working with other agencies that person is connected to multiple other crimes. And it's just being in the right areas at the right time. I don't know if I've said this before, but, you know, criminals have to be lucky every single time that they go out and do something. The police only have to be lucky one time.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's funny. Something I've said for a long time, specifically since you guys started this squad, is crime is almost always connected to other crime, and criminals are almost always connected to other criminals. And you guys are connecting those dots.
Yes. And that's the thing is, you know, it's 2023. Policing has changed so much. If you think back to the birth of the state police and you start looking at the earlier years with like the Dillinger Gang and all that stuff, you know, there was people committing crimes in one part of the country. They go to another part of the country and nobody ever knew who they were. You know, it was a lot easier to do that stuff back then. Now there's so many programs. There's so much open source intelligence. Police agencies work together that we should be able to connect crimes and work with other agencies, and that's what we're trying to do. Yeah. Is you make the best use of our time and our assets. And a perfect example of that, Trooper Michael Wright, who's in my squad, we were riding together the other day. Trooper Justin Hobbs worked a crash where 2 children were injured in the crash. Him and Trooper Wally Butt and Trooper Joseph Malone were attempting to locate the vehicle, and they all work together. Trooper Wright he's very, very good at locating people, just searching through information that's just open on the internet, you know, speaking to people, getting information. And between the 4 of them, they were able to locate the suspect in this and make an arrest within a matter of an hour and a half. I mean, that's crazy. And then the following day it happened again. You know, this is not every time is it a crime where you're seizing kilos of cocaine, and that happens, and that's awesome when it happens. We want that. That's the ones that make you feel that instant gratification. Yeah. But it's the times, like you said, is that these are big events for people. You know, somebody was involved in a crash, the medical bills that they're going to sustain from their children being injured, and, you know, them using the resources they have from investigating these larger crimes and putting it towards a crash investigation. and making a difference.
Certainly, it is, and the technology is amazing, but also the drive that our troopers have to provide that service is unmatched. That's for sure. We want to thank Sergeant Nate Rainey for coming in. He's the supervisor for the Indiana State Police All Crimes Policing Squad here in Indianapolis. Each district across the state has a similar squad doing similar work, but certainly incredible statistics. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for your passion for this, because you are making a difference in our community, and you've taken just the guns off the street, are making people more safe, and the drugs. So thank you for that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will talk to you next time.